Well, it's Friday. Once again, we meet on Friday. I hope you're looking forward to a wonderful weekend. Uh, it's been quite a week. It's been quite a month. It's been quite a year. Uh, but here we are. And today, I would like to discuss the magical oath. Uh, Now, prior to any initiation ceremony, when you join the Boy Scouts or you join DMLA or you join, your book club, or, well, maybe not your book club, but before you join any serious organization, you take at least one oath. You take an oath when you join the military. Take an oath uh, or swear an oath before you testify at court. Oaths are pretty big things, but magical oaths are something uh, altogether more profoundly significant. And in a formal magical setting, the format to deliver a magical oath, say to someone in an initiatory capacity when you're being initiated, uh, you do swear an oath. And usually the oath is uh, delivered to you or dictated to you. And as you're taking the oath, you're nervous and you don't know you don't know what it is you're saying or what it is exactly that you're swearing to, and you feel a little uncomfortable uh, swearing it, but you know that the ceremony is not going to go forward unless you finish it up, and unless there is some kind of uh, really objectionable uh, clause in your oath, you go ahead with it, and then it takes on its more profound meaning as you grow and as the years progress. In the Eliphas Levi, I believe, tells the story of the initiate in the very prestigious and uh, initiatory society in like uh, Ptolemaic Egypt, the rites of Mendes, and anybody wanted to be in an initiate in the rites of Mendes, because you had to be a really honest, upstanding, honest uh, person, and a person of high integrity and stuff. And it was a prestigious thing to be accepted into the rites of Mendes, and so supposedly they vetted you terribly by they watched you for 5 years or something where you didn't even know you were being vetted, and uh, they subtly tested you. I don't know what they did. Maybe they, tied a string to a wallet or something, and they threw it out on the sidewalk before you to see if you were an honest. I don't know what they did, but they did subtle tests of your honesty, integrity, and spiritual gravitas, really. And then finally, once they secretly voted on you, somebody delivers a note to you. It says, appear at the Temple of Mendes at 5:15 on Saturday. Uh, bring $15. uh, and you show up, okay, at the and this is your big day, and oh, finally I'm going to be an initiator of the rites of Mendes. And uh, you knock, okay, and they take you in and very uh, solemnly hoodwink you and maybe tie you up maybe and uh, anyway, even before that, maybe they make you uh, do some ordeals, the ordeals of the elements. You got to leap over a chasm to conquer air, and uh, you have to run through fire or something like that. And maybe they'll have you swim or something like that, and or they'll bury you and have you escape from the earth. It's heavy duty stuff, and you're getting yourself traumatized already. Shit, can I just pay my $15? But then when they hoodwink you, when that's all over, when you've passed those ordeals, they hoodwink you, blindfold you, and you take you into what you can feel on your skin is a cavernous temple of some kind. It's all echoey and cool. And then they dictate to you an oath that you promise to do all sorts of things and be true, and this never, ever, ever reveal what the ceremonies are or the nature of the order or the names or identities of any of your lodge members. And it's really heavy duty stuff, and you're feeling pretty, yeah, I'm going to be pretty patriotic about it. Yeah, I'm going to be a secret keeper. I'm going to be a good rights of Mendes thing. And then they say at the end of the oath, and if I break this oath, and then you describe all sorts of horrible, horrible, sadistic, may my tongue be ripped from my face through my nostrils, and may I be forced to shove parts up my parts that where parts don't fit, and may my family be held to ridicule and murdered and sent away inland. And you swear these horrible things that'll happen to you if you break the oath. But you finally go ahead and do it. You say, it's the rights of Mendes. It's a high class outfit. If everybody did this, I guess I'll do it too. And then they'll say, and now you'll have to seal this oath with your lips on the, and then they pull the hoodwink off you, and you find yourself face to face with the south end of a goat looking north. And they're holding up the tail for you to kiss this goat's butt. And you go, oh God, am I going to do? Ooh. But if you pucker up, close your eyes and pucker up and go for it. Oh, not only that, but you see everybody around you is not dressed up in hierophantic robes of what you would expect the rights of Mendes people to be wearing these robes of glory and everything else, and certainly not how you see them when they march in the New Year's Eve parade. They're dressed up like in crocodile suits and snake suits and hippopotamus, satanic, the equivalent of satanic, scary. I mean, sets and things like that. And you go, oh my God, I've joined the wrong group. Is this Wednesday night? You know, but you have a little mini abyss crossing in your soul. And before you pucker up and kiss that goat anus, you have to come to a crisis. Literally, a little mini abyss crossing. Look, my momentum took me to this point. I thought I was joining the right thing. In my heart, I am joining the right thing. I don't care what these screwballs are. I've brought myself to the point of where I'm going to take a step. I'm going to take the step. It's not them that's initiating me. It's me that's initiating me. And I got myself to this point, so I'm going to kiss that freaking goat ass. And I'm going to make it an initiation. And so you pucker up and you head toward that butt, and it splits open. And it's just an artfully taxidermied goat. And inside is the little virginal priestess of the rites of Mendes in her little vestal sort of innocent robe. And it's not the goat's ass that you're aiming your lips toward. It's her little virginal cherry lips. And you seal that oath. You've passed the abyss with your oath. And everybody unzips their snake suit and goes, surprise, you know, happy birthday to you. And, but that, and you've joined the rites of Mendes and everybody. And maybe that's where the idea of you're going to ride the goat tonight down at the Masonic Lodge. I've told that story before. I enjoyed telling it. I don't think it's just exactly the way Eliphas Levi or whoever the original spinner of that tale was. And I doubt whether there's any historic veracity to that. Everything I say is untrue. Be that as it may, the idea is a magical oath, a true magical oath, cannot be broken. And furthermore, a true magical oath must be broken. Now, I'm going to briefly read what Crowley says at the beginning of his chapter 16 of the Magic and Theory and Practice. The third operation in any magical ceremony, I guess the first is banishing and purification, is the oath or the proclamation. The magician, armed and ready, stands in the center of the circle and strikes once upon the bell as if to call the attention of the universe. He then declares who he is. That's why you choose a motto first, okay? He then declares who he is, reciting his magical history by the proclamation of his grades which he has attained, giving the signs, words of those grades. He then states the purpose of the ceremony and proves that it's necessary to perform it and to succeed in its performance. He then takes an oath before the Lord of the universe, not before the particular Lord who he's invoking. So you go over everybody's head, okay? As if to call him to witness the act, he swears solemnly that he will perform it, that nothing shall prevent him from performing it, that he will not leave the operation until it is successfully performed, and then once again he strikes the bell. Having demonstrated himself in that position at once infinitely lofty and infinitely unimportant, the instrument of destiny, he balances this by the confession, in which there is again an infinite exaltation. These are my credentials, and these are my mottos, and these are all the signs, but I'm nonetheless a worm. You balances all of that exaltation by the confession, in which there's again infinite exhortation harmonized with infinite humility. He admits himself to be a weak human being, humbly aspiring to something higher, a creature of circumstances, utterly dependent, even for the breath of life, upon a series of fortunate accidents. He makes this confession prostrate before the altar in agony and bloody sweat. He trembles at the thought of the operation which he's dared to undertake, saying, snatching it from the New Testament, "Father, if it be this will, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done." In other words, you're confident enough that this is your will to do this as to assume it's also the will of God and recognize that fact. The dread answer that comes is that it must be. And this answer so fortifies him with holy zeal that it will seem to him as if he were raised by divine hands from the prostrate position. With a thrill of holy exultation, he renews joyfully the oath, feeling himself once again no longer a man, but a magician. Yet not merely a magician, but the chosen and appointed person to accomplish the task which, however apparently unimportant, is yet an integral part of universal destiny. So that if it were not accomplished, the kingdom of heaven would burst into pieces. He's now ready to commence the invocations. He consequently pauses to cast a last glance around the temple to assure himself of the perfect readiness of all things necessary and to light the incense. Okay, he goes on to talk more about the oath. And of course, not everybody is going to fall on their face and whip themselves into a frenzy of self-abasement, but you sort of get the idea. Now, a beautiful, beautiful confession, and I don't know if I can immediately find it at the moment here, is in Liber Pyramidos. And there's the confession portion of it. Let me see if I can quickly go to it. I've got commentaries on the Holy Books of Thelema, which is, I'm sad to say, is not readily available, but there's a beautiful, colorful thing here. Where is it? It should be here. And it has all the oaths of the early section of the AA. Oh, where is it? Oh, it's the I'm the fool, the flutterer. Oh, I have to read it with Crowley's own handwriting. Oh, thanks a lot. Uh, yeah, maybe I can. But anyway, it's I'm a fool, a flutterer. I'm a I'm a spendthrift and a miser. It's such a cool oath or confession. Be that as it may, in a practical sense, the oath is a component in almost every magical ceremony. When I do like an online class, which is in a sense an online self-initiation, I've written up a small oath that people take, and because it's all oaths are truly oaths to yourself. The oath isn't to me or to the organizers of the Zoom meeting that we're in, but it goes like this. And after we sort of prepare ourselves that we're getting ready to actually operate, you say I, and then your motto, even if it's a temporary motto, it's your magical you. So you'd say, I, in the presence of all I hold sacred, do hereby accept absolute responsibility for my own condition of darkness and ignorance, and solemnly acknowledge and declare that ultimately only I can bring myself to light. Okay. That's sort of a nice generic term or oath. Now, at each step of the initiatory journey, and here is Crowley's diagram of the early or the important first degrees of the AA. And of course, each zephyr represents a level of consciousness, but we've got rituals that go with this that Crowley thought were appropriate. Probationer is completely off the tree, but there's Liber 61, Liber 65, and in certain cases, Ritual 28. Now, remember, this is at the probationer level. You're not even on the tree yet at the probationer level, but you're given things to read, sort of the history thing, and you're given a holy book to read, to sort of inspire, to touch you. Okay, but you're supposed to memorize it. Okay. And remember what I said about the rites of Mendes and all of that. Now, Ritual 28, in certain cases, okay, the probationer goes through that. That's the ritual of the 7 holy kings. Now, elsewhere, Crowley says, for probationers who are particularly lazy or too full of themselves, okay, you're invited to the temple and you're taken through a series of 7 initiations corresponding to the planetary spheres. And the god of each of the planetary spheres tells you what a great, great guy you are. And oh, you're so we're so proud of you. And oh, you're wonderful. Oh, and they just pump you up. 7 times they pump you up. And at the end of the whole thing, they kick you the fuck out of the temple and drive you off in a cart, and you don't come back. That's for certain probationers. Okay. All right. But then there's real stuff. Okay, the neophyte, there's a initiation ritual, pyramidos, the building of the pyramid, the holy books, Liber 7, and you conquer the 4 powers of the Sphinx. Now, the next one will be Zealoter or Zealoter, and there's a ritual that goes with it. And you're starting to conquer yourself, the postures, hatha yoga, breath control, and the book of the law, given the book of the law. And this is where you forge the flaming sword. And then to go to 8, you do these 2 things. Okay, let's see. It's a great little chart, and it goes well with the tasks of the grades, and each of the let's see here, yeah, the tasks of the grades and the oaths. See, the oath of a probationer are in this book right here, Liber 185. Okay. Like the oath of the probationer here, I, and then your motto, being of sound mind and body on this day of year, everything is astrological, do hereby resolve in the presence of my neophyte, of the AA, to prosecute the great work, which is to obtain a scientific knowledge of the nature and powers of my own being. May the AA crown the work, lend me of its wisdom in the work, enable me to understand the work. Reverence, duty, sympathy, devotion, assiduity, trust do I bring to the AA, and in 1 year from this date, may I be admitted to the knowledge and conversation of the AA. Now, you know, that puts everything in your lap. It's not scary, it's not freaky. You just resolve in the presence of the neophyte to prosecute the great work, which is to obtain knowledge of the nature and power of my own being. It is an awesomely general oath. And if you don't do that, you may get the ritual of the 7 holy kings. Okay. And then it comes with a task. Let any person be received by a neophyte, the latter being responsible to the zealoter. The period of probation shall be at least 1 year. The aspirant to the AA shall hear the lection. That's Liber 61. Okay, that was on there. And this note of office. If he will, he shall then procure the robe of a probationer, choose with deep forethought, and intense solemnity an oath. On reception, he shall receive the robe, sign the form provided, and repeat the oath as provided, and receive the first volume of the book. Okay, there's other things, what you memorize, and tasks that are laid out, and it's all laid out. So this is something you could do to yourself in preparation for formally doing it. You're always doing it to yourself. Anyway, I've got a couple things here. What are they? Yeah. In a practical way, when you want to actually do a magical act of some kind, a magical ritual, say to charge a talisman, what kind of oath do you take to charge a talisman? Well, it's completely up to you, but when U.S. Game Systems, which was the first publisher of our tarot deck, when U.S. Game Systems sent me my first actual deck, it's been printed up. There's 10,000 of them sitting in a warehouse somewhere in Belgium, I think at the time. Hadn't been released yet. When they sent it to me, Constance was visiting her parents in Nebraska. I was alone in the house. And it occurred to me, hey, I've got tons of spirits and stuff that are associated with these cards. I've got the angels of the Shamhamfarish. I've got the 72 spirits of the Goetia. I got all of these Enochian angels on these cards, besides the cards being Kabbalistically the structure of the cosmos. I thought, hey, before I open this deck, I've got the opportunity to magically charge these cards. You know, if I had a weekend ahead of me, I could even evoke every Goetic spirit and every angel of the Shamhamfarish and activate every Enochian tablets, subangle. I could do it all. I could actually charge this deck by evoking everything onto these particular cards. This is the mother deck. By me doing this to this mother deck, I'm doing it to all 10,000 of them and piled up like in a pyramid in Belgium or wherever they were printed at the time. It was a crazy magical idea, but I had the weekend ahead of me and time on my hands. So I cleared, first of all, I sort of set to work to actually construct in my mind the steps of the procedure for me to do this, how I would set up my Enochian equipment for the Enochian section, how I would do the circle and triangle thing for each of the 72 spirits of the Goetia. And so I mapped out the logistics of what I would have to do and figured that I could do it, in less than 48 hours, even with me having a few hours of sleep and things like that. So I set to work to plan my weekend around doing this. And when it was time to get ready to operate, I put on clean sweatshirt and sweatpants. Sorry, I didn't put on magical robes. Clean sweatpants and a comfortable sweatshirt. We're going to have to do. It was my magical vestments. But anyway, I was almost ready to work. I took a bath, standing there in my nice clean body and clothes, in the nice clean empty universe of my living room temple. I moved the furniture. Constance would have killed me if she saw what I did. I needed now to announce myself and the magical cosmos what the hell I was here for. I had to frame my magical intention in words. I had to take the oath. I grabbed my magical diary and pen and quickly composed an oath that encapsulated my magical intent for this operation. I fired up some charcoal in the censer and covered it with pure frankincense. As the sweet-smelling smoke rose to the heavens, so did my 93-word oath. I, Adeosat Beni, Zealoter and 9th degree, swear to the Supreme what it is of the universe, that I will charge this deck of tarot cards and every other deck of this design that currently exists or will exist in the future with the force of every spiritual entity in the universe that I am capable of conjuring and binding into it. May their presence in the cards serve to contribute only to the enlightenment and spiritual health and well-being of all with whom it comes in contact. So mote it be. Now, what I said at first about a magical oath cannot be broken. Also, that a magical oath must be broken. And in a sense, what that means is the oath that you fulfill at one level is transcended by the penalty of you breaking that oath, maybe not consciously, but on another level, because you are now moving to another octave. You can't truly be bound in order for you to take the next step. And in an artfully composed initiation ceremony, at each step, you say, and if I break this oath, may this or that terrible thing happen to me. Every Mason knows the horrible things that are meant to happen to you. Not that you are going to be murdered, but you will die to the old thing. And in a sense, you'll be obliged to say, yeah, that's the old me. Sorry. I've got a new oath I got to take now. So, in a Zen-like way, a magical oath cannot be broken. And a magical oath must be broken. And that's it for today. Oh my God, I've gone over. Constance is going to kill me. Until tomorrow, for Saturday cartoons. Continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.